Things have gone incredibly quiet on the Fiona Harvey front ever since she announced that she will be taking legal action against Netflix, Richard Gadd and the producers of the hit Netflix show Baby Reindeer. But that doesn't mean that people are surrounding the show and surrounding these characters and people in real life have gone quiet, because it was brought to my attention when I was sent a message that there is a Fiona Harvey supporters Facebook group. Now, I looked at this and I thought, oh, that's canny. You know, people supporting Fiona Harvey because, you know, she's been dragged through the mill a bit by a lot of people. As you know, a lot of people already have a preconceived idea of Fiona Harvey because of how Martha was depicted within Baby Reindeer. She obviously came on to Piers Morgan. Now, no matter how you voiced that or saw that interview, it divided a community. It was either it supported how she was shown in the show, or it turned a lot of people against Netflix and against Richard Gadd for her portrayal and kind of seeing her as the innocent party. Now, of course, until we get that court case out of the way, we won't know who's in the right and who's in the wrong. But I scrolled through this page. I was like, wow. You know, people are supporting Fiona Harvey. But as I went through it, I very quickly realised that this isn't actually... Well, although it says Fiona Harvey Supporters Group Public, this is less about supporting Fiona Harvey, and it is a lot more about slandering Richard Gadd. Like, we're going to go through some of the posts, and actually, like, maybe people see it as they have to slander Richard Gadd to support Fiona Harvey, but at the same time, it's like, why can't you just support her and leave Richard out of it, you know? Now, I want to try and be as unbiased about this as possible. But when I saw this, I was like, well, this is weird, you know? Like, this is a very odd take on supporting someone, because it's like us versus them kind of thing. But we'll go through it. So, there are people that obviously post in this public group, by the way, so, you know, everything's public. I want to add that. I'm not part of the group. You can see I haven't joined the group at all. But, you know. So, Gadd wrote, without editing herself, driving forward like a burst, damn, ignoring typos and hitting enter every time a new thought came into her. It was wild, unchained brilliance, pure poetry leaking onto the screen. Richard Gadd, Modern Plays. Right? So, that's a quote from, Richard Gadd himself, and then the person here is quoted it as, he loved her. All right. Anyway. And then I got to this post here 22 hours ago. Careful, people. The pro-Gadd trolls are here. So it's like there's civil war on this group, right? There's civil war. Like, you've got these people supporting Fiona Harvey by berating Richard Gadd. And then you've got the pro-Richard Gadd supporters coming in and infiltrating this Facebook page to try and undermine what's being done. It's so weird. It's so weird. Anyway, this was posted on Reddit, so as seen on Facebook, and then this support group. It's grown about 1,000 followers since this post was made a day ago, from the looks of it. Well, this was made 22 hours ago, so wow, it's growing quick, this page. Does anyone else feel like Gadd's almost coerced the public into finding Fiona? He could have changed a lot more details, but didn't. That was point one. Point two, he kept key quotes in, such as certain comments, which is what I believe led to Fiona being identified. Man, he even told us pretty much where it would be. 3, then I was like, oh, please don't try and find her, just in case he thought it hadn't crossed the viewer's mind. I think Fiona needed help from what was depicted on the show, and may still now. And Gadd was a victim to horrendous SA, allegedly. But it all seems like a sly way to attack Fiona, and Gadd has used the general public to do it. Just my thoughts. I mean, it's an interesting POV because, you know, that is what... that is kind of Fiona Harvey's defence in court, and that's why she's kind of taking Netflix to court, because, you know, she was very easily found, and even Piers Morgan said, you know, internet sleuths found her within a couple of hours of the show coming out through Twitter. Anyway, really not liking how people saying Fiona has EUPD as a mental health nurse. I'm saying that she doesn't meet the criteria. No evidence of childhood trauma, no self-harm, no hard evidence of an existential emptiness and zero evidence of how she feels and or interacts with people, and generally aside from what we've heard from the couple of people say. I am struggling to read today, my lord. Yes, she might be a bit nutty, unconventional, arrogant, which is why she didn't want to admit that she probably got a 3rd or 2 and 2 in her degree. A proper Karen would certainly looks unpleasant when you see her Facebook post, but hardly consists of what we watched in Baby Reindeer. And it doesn't mean we should throw out the EUPD/BPD, I think that's bipolar disorder, as a label, and certainly not not a diagnostician, right? Fair enough, you know, we no one online can diagnose anybody, because, you know, you'd have to go through someone's life with them to be able to diagnose them. So that's a fair comment, I suppose. This is an interesting point. If you could speak to Fiona and Gadd individually, what one sentence would you say to each of them? Now, I want to see what the comments are for this, because I'd be curious. You were both wrong. Okay, fair enough. I mean, Fiona, do you fancy a cup of tea or a Diet Coke? Gadd, when did you become so self-absorbed narcissist who preys on vulnerable women? So you can kind of see, like, where, like, I see this stuff and I'm like, whoa, like, that's pretty chill towards Fiona, and then Gadd, you're going straight for the jugular. You know, it's unfair to attack either of them. Like, you know, nobody should be attacking anyone regardless, but it's unfair to go for Richard Gadd, and it's unfair to go for Fiona, because neither of them, I mean, Richard Gadd has posted his side of the story. Fiona's come out with her side of the story. We don't actually know which side is true, you know, like, and until the court documents come out, which hopefully they'll be made public once the case is settled. I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix went for an out-of-court settlement, by the way. I don't think we can point fingers at anybody. Like, you just can't. Anyway, moving forwards. Someone said about an hour ago, I'd like to make my personal apology to the admins of this group, as I was taken in by Melanie and Sarah Marie's lies. I suspect the majority of their members have similar thoughts, and suddenly, like Mary Celeste over there, I was a major contributor to that group, but no more. Not sure what that's about. Netflix have provided evidence, will have to provide, evidence sooner rather than later. So this is something that we've covered recently, which is John Nicholson MP. So basically, when the producer went into the Houses of Parliament to speak under oath, they were quoted as saying, and it says in this document right here, Baby Reindeer is obviously a true story of the horrific abuse that the writer, Richard Gadd, suffered at the hands of a convicted stalker. You know, he stated a convicted stalker. We did every reasonable precaution in disguising the real-life identities of the people whilst striking a balance with veracity and authenticity of the story. Okay? And obviously, well, they went on to state that journalists have thus far been able to unfind any records of conviction which you referred to. Please, can you provide some evidence of this serious claim which is made to the select committee? I mean, that's fair. Obviously, you know, it's a very bold statement to make, and I'm sure it would go thus far. But anyway, this is where the slandering kind of gets deep, because it goes, who would you cast as Donnie if Netflix made a series 2 of Baby Reindeer from Fiona's perspective? Doofy would make a perfect role. He was the master of disguise and quite the psychopath. Like, people are diagnosing, like, people are upset that Fiona Harvey's being in this group, I will say, in this group, have, you know, outwardly stated that they're upset that Fiona Harvey's being diagnosed with stuff. And then you got people here who kind of go against the contrary and post stuff about Richard Gadd. Now, it just doesn't, it doesn't make sense, you know? Like, you can't have a page that defends one person and you say that people can't diagnose people with one thing on a specific person, and then have posts, literally like 4 or 5 posts later, diagnosing someone else as a psychopath and referring to them as a fictional character who has, you know, mental, like, you know, mental disabilities. It's not fair. You can't do that. Anyway, I just don't understand the logic of this group. So there was another one that I saw where I mentioned it in a video yesterday regarding Richard Gadd being potentially being cast for the new Jurassic World. And I saw this. Jurassic World. And I mean, Richard Gadd is set to star in the next installment of the world's biggest movie franchise, Jurassic World. Jurassic World! I didn't even know such a franchise existed. Only can hope that he's gobbled up within the first few minutes. Like, these people in this group, and it's you know, obvious why people are doing an anonymous participant, because this is a public group. They want to be able to express their distaste for Richard Gadd publicly, but they're going about it the wrong way. Like, you know, if this is labelled a supporters group, but they're not supporting people. They're not even like, these posts don't even support Fiona Harvey. they just berate Richard Gadd, and I looked through this page, like I've said, and I was just like, what is going on here? Like, how does this make sense? Make it make sense. Holy shit, I found my people. I've been dumped on, insulted, and treated like shit for defending Martha, and I hope to find others who share my ideas with, which is great. You know, that's the idea. You know, if you support Martha, it shouldn't matter. If you support Richard Gadd, it shouldn't matter. But, you know, yes, you need an outlet, and you should find, you know, nobody should be berated for supporting anyone. But anyway, bloody hell, Fiona Harvey was right. Laura Ray really does dress like she's still in the 80s. Also, I've been trying to work out the connection between Gadd and Ray. Now, she looks like a man who, so could she actually be Gadd's trans girlfriend? She never did want Fiona having a seat in Parliament, the wee liar. Now, that's just, again, just berating someone's appearance. You know, like, who cares if she looks like a man? Like, she doesn't even look like a bloke. But I just don't understand this group. And I wanted to share it because, like, people are in here just berating people on Fiona's, you know, behalf. Which is, you know, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. If you've got a support group, you talk about Fiona in a positive light and you say, like, look, I disagree with X, Y, and Z because of X, Y, and Z reasons. You don't go on there and then be like, I support Fiona, fuck Richard Gadd. This Ray looks like a man. That's why she's probably Richard Gadd's trans girlfriend. You know, it's just, what the fuck? You know, what the fuck? Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Like I said, saw this, was absolutely dumbfounded by what I was reading because it doesn't make sense. And I'm just, let's look at the group rules and for the admins, by the way. So this is created by the admins. No promotions or spam. Baby reindeer content only. Self-promotion, spam, irrelevant links aren't allowed. Anyone posting shite will be removed from the group. Cool. Be kind and courteous. Alright, this one, hypocritical. We're all in this together to create a welcoming environment. Let's treat everyone with respect. Healthy debates are natural, but kindness is required. Well, I've outlined like 5 things already where people have not been kind to Richard Gadd or this Scottish politician. So, you know, already that rule has been broken and the admins are not following up on it. No hate speech or bullying. Again, another hypocritical one. Make sure that everyone feels safe. Bullying of any kind isn't allowed, and degrading comments about such as race, religion, culture, sexual orientation, gender, or identity will not be tolerated. Again, I've just highlighted countless posts that go against that. No shame, no name and shaming posts. Please do not create a post naming a fellow member of the group. This only leads to further conflict within the group. It's easier to block anyone that you're having issues with. Admin monitors the group will take the appropriate action if they suspect someone is bullying or being a troll. Again, I've outlined multiple posts where they haven't done that. I mean, this page would be shut down if that was the case, literally. No blocking admin. Admin can see everything that you post when you block us. Alright, so even if they block them, they can still see it. We have ways of identifying blockers and will result in you being removed from the group. Now, again, like, there are 3 rules here that aren't being abided by, because I've outlined countless things. Now, again, I did say I want this to be unbiased, and I've tried to be unbiased with this, but at the same time, you know, I will point out hypocrisy. I will point out, you know, when something's not fair. I mean, I think I've been relatively fair towards Fiona Harvey within my videos. I've not said anything bad about her. I've not said, you know, I've just delivered what's been going on and keeping people up to date. And I've never really shared my opinion towards her, because, to be fair, I don't really have one. And I like I say, until the jury's out, I don't want to talk about my opinions on Richard Gadd or Fiona Harvey, because I don't know what happened. Nobody does. But at the same time, this page literally isn't created to support Fiona Harvey. It's created to berate Richard Gadd and other people who have gone against Fiona Harvey. So I have no doubt that I will probably end up in this group chat at some point, because someone's going to see it. And, you know, I will be spoken about, maybe. I hope not. I hope that nobody from that group sees it, because I don't want to be a part of this group. I don't want to be berated like these people have. But admins, if you see this, do a better job. Anyway, what's your thoughts? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, jump to get the hell out of that like button if you have enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Tickle my little bell so you get notified whenever we upload to the channel. And until next time, I hope that you have enjoyed, and I'll speak to you later. Peace.